Hey everybody, and welcome back to another devlog. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Critter Journal. So the Critter Journal is probably one of my favorite features that I've added. It allows you to basically collect a bunch of these badges in the game and then look at all of the different characters and NPCs' backstories. Now, the reason for making this is because I always feel like when I'm playing games that I don't get very attached to a lot of the characters in the games. I don't know who they are, I don't know where they come from, I don't know their backstories. So I decided for my game that I would make my own backstories for all of my NPCs and for all of my enemies. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how this works and what you can do with the badges once you find them, and we're also going to take a look at some of my personal most interesting backstories for some of these characters. Okay, so once you start playing the game, you're going to be going throughout the worlds and you're eventually going to start finding these enemy badges. So these badges are things you can actually find in the game as you're exploring, which means that you might actually miss some of them while you're playing through the game, because some of them aren't in areas that are always visible to the player, so you might actually end up going right by them, which means that you have to pay more attention to your environment and make sure to check every little crack or crevice to make sure that you're not missing another badge. So if we go and collect that badge, there's a nice little sound effect that plays, and then we can actually go into our Critter Journal. And in addition to all of the new art I made for the levels and stuff in the last devlog, I also redid a lot of the art for the Critter Journal. So you can notice the new logo and the updated crystal caterpillar, or I think it's called the crystal crawler, in the Critter Journal. And right here we have our slime badge. So the slime badge, let's go ahead and click on that real quick. It is the swamp slime. And you can scroll down through the text if you want to, and it'll tell you all about the slime. But I think it's pretty awesome, and you can find a bunch of these badges for all different sorts of NPCs and people. Let me just go ahead and press my developer key button, which also spawns in my pixies, but also gives me every single badge in the game. So we can scroll through all these with this nice little scroll bar on the right. And one of the coolest things I think I was able to do with this is I coded it so that if I wanted to add a new badge, all I have to do is just run the script, add the sprite and the dialogue and the description and the icon and all the actual fun stuff, and then it'll automatically put another badge here and extend the scroll bar as well. But let's not talk about too much about where the badges are, because I want you to explore that and find out for yourself. Instead, let's go take a look at how I did it. Okay, right here is where all the magic happens. This is where absolutely everything in the Critter Journal is drawn. All of the buttons, all of the animations, all the scrolling wheel effects, all of the text. So when I was making this, I had to think about several things. I didn't want to have to manually code a new button every single time that I wanted to add a new badge to the game. I wanted to make it easy for myself. I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to make it so that I could just maybe add a description or an enemy with just one line of code and make it so that I could tweak things easily. And my solution for that was to create a script that automatically adds an enemy, its sprite, its position within the Critter Journal, the name, and the description of that enemy or NPC into the Critter Journal automatically, so I don't actually have to do any of that myself. But of course, that's not all. I also had to make it so that the scrolling of the scroll wheel and the actual badges themselves drew correctly, and so that it would automatically add a new badge for when I added a new enemy. So if I go back into Bitlands over here, you can see that if I delete everything that I have and I go back into the Critter Journal, you can see, well, I have some of the badges still, but for the most part, these are all deleted. And when I add a new one, I want to add another silhouette of the badge, like right here. So for example, if I want to add a 24th badge, I would call that script again, and then it would create another badge silhouette automatically right here. And if we come back to our code, this is where I actually draw the badges. So I have a variable that controls the max number of badges, which actually increases each time I add an enemy or call that enemy script. And so I loop through all of the maximum number of badges that we have, and then I draw another badge silhouette in the correct row and column based on how many badges we currently have. Now, the reason why I think this is so cool is because before I had made these changes to the Critter Journal, it was a nightmare for me to add anything else to this thing, because I would have to manually go and draw the button, redraw the entire enemy description and icon, so the icon right here and all the text, I would have to redo that manually for every single badge. But honestly, my favorite part about all of this is the kind of 8-bit versions of all the enemies that I made. I mean, it was kind of difficult to figure out how I was going to do this because they're so small and I needed to fit them inside of a badge that was like 7 pixels by 7 pixels. It was ridiculous. But I think each one turned out pretty well. They all look incredibly adorable in my opinion. And you can actually go ahead and see a GIF of all of these over in my Discord, which you can join with the link in the description. And for these empty ones that you're seeing right here, these ones are going to be for upcoming new enemy and NPC badges, so make sure to be on the lookout for those. Thank you all so much for watching this short devlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next devlog.